So it is February 3rd,
2022.
So this will be unearthed on February 3rd, 2025.
Yeah, right. So this is our little time capsule.
So 3 years ago, I had just quit my job.
So I've got something to talk to you guys about today. It's kind of big and probably needs some background and context.
And for the first time since I was 16 years old, I actually didn't work for anybody. Like, I was just out in the world without gainful employment.
I honestly believe that not having this day job is gonna create more time for me to just sort of be me and relax and not be so constantly working. Of course, I do know I'm the type of person who will probably fill up all of my free time with new projects. You know, the funny part about working from home is on your last day in the office, you have to bring cardboard boxes of work back into the office instead of bringing your belongings home to the office, but here I'm at. I'll see you guys back at the farm.
And so with this newfound freedom, I decided to go on a little bit of a road trip.
So I'm now on day 2 of driving, and man, I don't know, I think I'm somewhere, I don't know. Where am I? I don't even know what state I'm in at this point, but I'm driving.
Good morning, birds. How's everybody doing this morning? Release the Kraken! And so on this road trip, I decided to head down south and visit some of my friends.
Whoa. This is awesome.
Outbuilding, huh?
This is not like my barn at all.
Homestead dreams right here, buddy.
You know, I visited with Justin and Rebecca Rhodes.
What's he, 3 months? 4 months?
4 months. It's a big baby. Almost a gallon and a half. It's because she didn't milk this morning.
Yeah.
That extra half a gallon is
It's me. It's all me.
I got to stay with my friends Meg and Ben Holler. And I got to stay with my friends Jess and Jeremiah Sowards, who live down in South Carolina.
Hello, Jeremiah. So how long is this taking you every day?
She takes about 15 minutes, and of course I've got this little orphan calf I'm putting on her right now, so I don't milk her entirely out.
And it was a really great trip, and it was fun to just go somewhere else. And as much as I love this place in February, leave some of the routine behind and get to see people you really love and spend time with them and have conversations. And well, while I was down there staying with Jess and Jeremiah, we got into this like future-focused conversation, and so we decided to record a video.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
All right. I don't even know how we're gonna start this. This is your idea, so you should start it.
It was my idea, technically.
Oh, was it? Then you start it.
Well, I mean, okay.
Is it rolling?
It's rolling. So whenever you're ready.
We're rocking and rolling.
All right, so the year is 2025. Yeah, 20. Let's go 3 years
there
out.
years.
3 years?
Yeah.
3 years. 3 or 5
Well,
years.
the year currently is
See, the thing is I don't want to patiently wait 5 years.
So what are we gonna do? 1 year? That feels that's too soon.
It's too late.
You think 3 years?
I think 2025 is the year.
Okay, let's go for it.
All right. Hello,
3 years.
everybody in 2025.
Coming at you from 2022.
Yeah.
Full of optimism and hope. See, I'm such a I'm such a worst case scenario. I'm like,
She's like, what if things are really bad?
See, I'm such an optimist because I'm like, yeah, you know, I bet you guys you're all out of the pandemic by now, so that's probably cool.
Everything's going awesome.
Yeah. The whole political thing is kind of calmed down probably. That 2024 election, I'm sure went so smoothly. Like everything was like no issues, no unrest. It was probably easy.
Everyone's happy with each other.
Everybody's happy with government. Yeah.
And I'm over here thinking, is there a world left standing? Like,
The Red Sox probably won the World Series again, so we got that going for us. Also, the Washington Capitals. I'm really glad to see that happen.
oh no, I'm an optimist.
So wait, so what's your farm looking like by then?
By 2025, gosh.
2025, what do we hope?
Where do we hope it'll be? Well, I mean, hope our house is built.
Oh gosh, I really hope our house is being
All
built
of
by
this,
2025.
all the infrastructure. I hope our farm is like mostly in order by 2025.
I hope that this farm is fully permacultured, established, like ecosystem
In place. I mean,
in
things
place.
will be
Obviously,
growing
things
and
have to
getting
keep growing,
established. They'll
trees
be
and things
young.
like that. But I mean, like right now, we don't have any of the trees planted, so I'm like, I want to see the contours and the trees planted and the rotational grazing set up, and like.
Yeah.
I want to be at a property where I don't have another big project that needs to be finished. I just have to maintain that property.
I don't think that's going to happen by 2025.
Yeah, that's soon.
I mean, here's the reality, because this is actually...
Okay, but relative to how fast we did, how much we did in 6 months?
Oh, yeah, your pace is going to drop off, but like, I mean, I think about my farm, right? Like, I know I'm gonna still have a thing. I gotta just get through this thing.
Yeah.
Like,
There's
part of
always-
this, I feel like, is that there's always that next thing. It, like, you might not even be aware or conscious of it, but 2025, Jeremiah is probably like, oh yeah,
That was
you completely
awesome.
forgot about the, hog farrowing shed that we needed to build, or whatever.
I'd rather be like Babe Ruth and point to where I'm going to hit the and then maybe not even hit the ball at all. And just be like, well, I can never hit it to that section, so
I mean,
I want this farm
That's what
fully
this is for
established.
Jeremiah.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll watch this video in 2025.
Okay, we'll see where
So
it goes.
I want
yeah.
this farm to be, for the most part, fully developed and growing, and we're just kind of like learning that process of like, what does a 10-year farm look like?
I hope-
Permaculture farm look like?
In 2025, now it's February now. So are you gonna like edit this and
I was just
schedule
gonna-
it? Or just put it up and schedule it?
I could just
Yes.
put it up and schedule. All right,
Yes.
I'll put it up when I get home, and I'll just have
It'll
it
just
scheduled
be
in my
scheduled.
queue. Yeah.
This is our we took a leaf out of Mr. Beast's page
Yeah.
because the kids were talking about
Honestly, I
this.
think we should get a copy of it and schedule it also.
I'll get you.
Yeah.
I'll send
Yeah.
you when I get back. Yeah.
That way, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
any viewer crossing that's like
It all
not the same
disseminates.
boat, everyone gets it.
If my channel gets banned for illegal like content or something.
No.
Like,
If you go to jail for illegal beef jerky sales, because I couldn't get it USDA certified, so I was selling all the black market, and we go visit Morgan in jail.
at least it'll post somehow.
Right, it'll
Yeah,
post.
this video will get out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I guess all right. So it is February 3rd,
2022.
2022. So this will be unearthed on February 3rd, 2025.
Yeah,
Right.
so this is our little time capsule. So my hope is that in 2025 we will be actively building a learning center.
So you're gonna be in the build mode by that.
Yeah, but in the build mode. I don't know what stage.
Jeremiah's like already done.
Oh no, he's You're like double
I didn't say the education center would be done in 3
I know
years.
it's a building. And you're over here like,
To me, that seems just as much as pointing where your home run's going as what I'm saying.
you don't think we'll be building that?
I don't know. Morgan's saying our pace is going to slow down.
I'm just saying, you're gonna want to stop and smell the
Let's see.
roses and.
I'm gonna be
Is the education center
39.
ground? Oh, you're going to be thinking. Oh, that means I'll be 40. Oh, gosh.
Like Morgan.
What's that like?
I'm gonna be 40. I'll be almost 40. I'll be a month shy of my 45th birthday.
These years
Bit more gray. I can definitely feel
Okay,
it
so
coming.
let's do some predictions. Also, like, where do you think Goldshaw Farm subscriber-wise will be? Where do you hope it'll be at?
Oh, I hope we're over 1 million. I hope by 2025 I'm over 1 million, and I hope I have my second book coming out. It's gonna be a series, and this is me doing my call.
Okay.
So the first book comes out, it does well.
Bestseller. Movie rights.
The Toby Dog story's out there, and then there's a second book actually talking about the Barn Cats, and that's gonna be book number
Coming
2,
out.
and that would be coming out right about now.
So you want to know what like one of my bucket list things is? So I've written now 2 books. The second one is not out yet, but it will be obviously by the time this video comes out. But like I've always wanted to write a New York Times bestseller. So like that's it. So maybe by 2025 I'll be releasing a New York Times bestseller. That's one of my.
There's nothing like social media people pining for legacy media. It's such a funny thing. I'd like that written word thing.
Yeah. All these other things I make.
Yeah, it's like,
They're
All right,
great.
Roots and Refuge, where do you hope it'll be at?
I mean, I think.
Don't you undersell it.
I don't know. know. I can't really think of that in a sense that I'm that. I think we'll be over 1 million. I hope.
Well, conservative.
I know. I was like, oh yeah, we'll be probably marching towards 2 about that point. That's my.
I mean, Casey Neistat says the first 10,000 is the hardest,
Well, we passed that.
and he says that everything. He says 1 million is harder than 10 million. And so, I mean, if we're right now, we're 500,000, you're almost at 500,000. I would think in 3 years. I mean, it took us 3 years to get halfway there. I would think that we would probably get the other halfway in less than 3 years, just because of the rate of growth.
I mean, yeah.
But I don't know. It's so interesting because.
What do you hope for? I hope that. Okay, so I'm about to launch my own channel.
Yeah, that's the.
Yeah, let's
Working
talk
out.
about that.
We've been talking about the branding and all that right now. It's not out yet. People have not seen it yet.
So all right, but let's ask this question. So where's Maya's workshop? Which I'm assuming it's going to be Maya's workshop.
That's what we were sitting on.
Where's Maya's workshop going to be
In 3 years.
as this video gets unearthed?
I want to be also over 1 million.
You go, boy.
That's there you go. That's
Yeah.
Strike the
that's
home run.
calling the shot. Yeah. Actually, the thing I mean, like, to me, it almost doesn't matter because the thing that I want, like, from like a content and like videos that I make perspective, I want to be doing regular VR videos and having that be a big part of how people like experience my farm and like.
Yeah.
I mean, like right now, I do like a couple here and there, like once a month I'll put one out. But like, I want that to be a big part of what I'm doing.
Yeah. See, for me, I think that 500,000 mark, that was like a big milestone for me.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, like, I wouldn't call my YouTube channel big for years. Like, even when it was, 300,000, 400,000 people, like, you have a big YouTube channel. I'm like, nah, it's not really big. Because YouTube actually considers 500,000 a large YouTube channel. Like, they consider under 500,000 as a small YouTube channel. And so to me, I was like, no. And so hitting that, I'd said it for so long. No, YouTube doesn't even call it until you're 500,000. Oh, like when that was like an inconceivable number to me, that was how I viewed. Oh no,
right? Because you're like 100,000.
I'm not big. I'm not 500,000. And then when it hit 500,000, I was like, oh, and it was like really humbling. But I don't think I'm really like looking at. I guess once we get close to 1 million, that'll be a big milestone, obviously. But like, I'm not really thinking about that so much while we're doing all of this expansion and doing the books and doing all these different things. Like, I love seeing these resources get into people's hands and seeing people learn and like grow gardens. And I think the reason my heart is so in these brick and mortar places, like, well, I mean, we can talk about this here.
Yeah,
because I mean, we haven't.
How's the store doing?
As of right now,
how's the coffee going?
it's not public, but as of right now, just for posterity's sake, we're closing in a couple weeks with our partners on a brick and mortar store. So we're gonna in downtown Batesburg.
They already know all this.
Yeah, now. I know.
So you don't need to recap.
And I mean, like, it's cool though that looking back, we're gonna be like, wow, that was when all of this was like in conception stage. It was like in.
Beulah Roasting has not roasted a single bean yet.
Yep, as of right now, but we have, as of right now, like all the people who, when they watch this, will have drunk our coffee. As of right now, we just ordered that roasting equipment 2 weeks ago. So that's so cool, I mean, when you think
that's
about
pretty amazing.
Roasted a bean yet?
we just made the deal on the house, which by the time this video goes up will be
a coffee
flipped
shop,
and a functional coffee shop that many people will have come into. And now it's like a 130-year-old house that's kind of fallen in on itself.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. That's really awesome to me. And that's the thing I think I'm most focused on. When I think of 3 years from now, I'm not really thinking so much about subscriber count so much, but I'm thinking about the success of those things. That's really where my heart is.
I mean, I think the biggest thing that jumps out to me is like how unpredictable it's gonna be.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going to be excited to see, like, where
is it?
Because I think about 3 years ago, I had just left Washington, D.C. I was, like, struggling to get a YouTube channel going, struggling to get a farm going.
And it would be unbelievable to get 460,000.
Yeah, it's like, oh, wow, I'm closing in on 500. That's crazy. Like,
February of 2019.
That was actually right when we did our first
our
first video together. It was right before
3 years ago. So had we done this video then, Could
We'd
we
be-
have imagined sitting here now?
No, not even
Like,
remotely.
Post-pandemic, post like all of the things. I mean, like you couldn't if even remotely fathom.
What might be really fantastic is that when we get to this video, we surpassed all of these things.
That would be pretty
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
And then it really was peaceful.
Yeah.
And that the election really was.
Everything was very good.
simmering.
Things were kind of mellowing out here for America. All those would be good things. And I'm sure that's the case.
Are you though?
3 years later.
I'll tell you. I'll fill you back in. We did get Beulah. Jeremiah's here.
You got
He's got to
Beulah?
pop
I mean,
back.
I think you got Beulah. You got a lot more too. I mean, because I just think so. Like when I was there when we shot that, it was February 2022. It was like the week before you had just finished your barn, so like everything was empty. You hadn't done anything there, and so I feel like if you go back to like when that actually happened, you were way further behind than you even at least are recognizing.
I actually went back after watching that video and watched a couple of my vlogs. Love you. Sorry, Maya's going back out to handle our cow situation. I watched a couple of my vlogs from that period because I wanted to have a grid because it gets hard to remember what has happened. But yeah, we put it on. We watched it. I was dreading watching it, to be honest, because I've made a lot of jokes. I deal with things with humor, and I've made a lot of jokes that some of our plans going awry over the last few years has just, I've said I feel really sick of eating humble pie. But watching that video was actually really good. I will tell you, this is how, and you know me very well, so the fact that I'm willing to say this says a lot. I'd be willing to make another 3-year video. That's how good it was for me. It was actually some perspective that I really needed. And I thought a lot about it afterwards because I'm like, if I could go back and tell that girl anything, what would I say? And honestly, nothing. I would not go back and try to temper myself for disappointment. I would not go back and tell myself to slow down because I actually think that it took all the irons in the fire to really bring me to a place that was necessary to really count the cost of what's the most important to me. And Maya and I talked about it after the fact and watching that. And he said, we didn't get so much of what we thought we wanted, but standing where I am right now with what I got everything that I needed.
I 100% agree. I mean, and yeah, we should actually make another video. Maybe we do that next week or something. Like, because honestly, it was such a good exercise. Yeah, exactly. But like it literally, I had the same feeling where it was like, I think back to where I was when we recorded that video. I had just quit my full-time job. I had been less than a month without full-time employment for the first time since I was like 18 or 19. And it was like totally scary and I wasn't sure what to do or how things were going to work or anything like that. And I had all these like things and projects I was working on and hoping to do. And like only about I don't know, maybe half of them actually came to fruition. But to your point, like looking at where I'm at now, I wouldn't change a thing, I don't think.
Yeah. We joked about our age and that and being, I'll be 39. And I really do think that I think that there is something that happens as you just start getting older, that you just hold your plans more loosely. And 3 years feels like nothing.
Well, yeah, I think the 3 years feels like nothing piece is definitely hitting home because I remember how like non-concrete that idea of, okay, we're going to play this for the first time in 2025. And that was like, oh, I can't even fathom what that's going to look like. And now I just remember when it popped up on my calendar and I texted you and I'm like, hey, you remember this video we made? Like, I completely forgot about it.
It may need to be 5 years. I need more time. This one came fast.
Very fast. I know. And I think that's one of those things like for people who might be like watching us talk about this, right? Like the idea that, something that's 3 years off feels like a lifetime away. And like, how are you ever going to get to that point? But when you look backwards, it goes so much quicker than you ever imagined. Like, no question about it.
Yeah. Maya said something which I feel like I need to throw his bit in here since he's out there handling a cow emergency. But he said something really sweet last night where we were watching after I showed him that video. He said, you thought that all of that stuff was what was going to make you feel happy or make you feel successful or make you feel like you could finally take a deep breath and be like, I got through the list. And he's like, say we had accomplished all that stuff in 3 years. He's like, Jess, you'd have made another list. I don't know. It's very interesting to watch.
Yeah.
I'm a little trepidatious, but I would do it again. I would make another thing. I think maybe a couple extra years might be warranted.
I know. I think it's either next time we're together or maybe the next couple of weeks we'll maybe shoot another one. And
Yes.
yeah, is it the 2030 video, I guess?
Yeah, the 2030. That would be it.
Which seems like an insane future. I can't even
Well, I know. We also couldn't wrap our head around 25. Well, I asked Maya last night because, we were joking about him, pointing for the fence and all that stuff. And I asked him, I said, does watching this make you want to rein it in? Did it make you want to not point for the fence? And he's like, absolutely not.
Yeah, so we have had some very crazy weather over the last, 36 hours or so.
Dreams are a funny thing. When you set them, they feel like finish lines, clear, bright, and waiting for you at the end of the road. But life has a way of twisting that road, stretching it longer, throwing detours where you never expected. And maybe you look up years later and realize that the dream you were chasing wasn't even the one you thought it would be. Maybe you didn't get everything you wanted, but what if that's not the point? Because in all the missed targets, and the plans that unraveled, and the goals that took longer than you ever imagined, you were becoming something. Stronger, wiser, more capable, more resilient, more aware of what really matters. The truth is, no dream is wasted. Not the ones that came true, not the ones that didn't, and not the ones that evolved into something completely different. The work, the belief, the willingness to take a risk, all of that stays with you.
Release the Kraken!
And if you keep going, if you refuse to let the fear of failure stop you from reaching, you'll find something even greater than what you first imagined. So if you're watching this, feeling like time is slipping away, like you're further behind than you wanted to be, like your dream is too big, too far, too impossible, let this be your reminder. The next 3 years will pass you whether you chase it or not. The question is, when they do, where will you be? Keep moving, keep doing, keep dreaming. Because even when things don't go according to plan, you're still writing a story worth telling.
Good girl. Good girl. Yeah. Good girl. Back up, Abby. Back up.